All, oh, all rise. I ask the platform party to be seated. Please resume your seats. Thank you. I will now introduce our platform party. We have our chairman of the governing body, Mr. Fintan Maloney, the president of Letterkenny Institute of Technology, Mr. Paul Hannigan, the vice president for academic affairs and the register, Mr. Billy Bennett, the Vice President for Research, Equality and External Affairs, Mr. John Andy Boner. The Head of Faculty of Engineering and Technology is Dr. Gertie Taggart. The Head of Department of Computing is Thomas Dowling, and the President of the Student Union is Adam O'Flaherty. Inishirim are Fintan Maloney, Cairlach and Borstjur, Falcha Corrove. I call upon our Chairman of the Governing Body, Mr. Fintan Maloney, to make the welcome address.
Céad míle fáilte roimh go léir. Thar ceann Comhalach Ceannais Institute Technoléachta Litir Ceannan, bhfuil am fáilte a chu roimh, chuig an searmanas bronta seo. Chailmuid an ceiliúra seo a nuirí. Mar sin is iontach golamíd an seo aigaraig inniu chun the achtaí idircis a ahinj. On behalf of the governing body of LYIT, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this year's conferring ceremony. We lost the celebration last year, so it's wonderful that we are here today, face to face, and not zooming in virtual space to recognise your educational achievements. As Claire had mentioned, over the last 2 days, you're the last of 6 ceremonies. In excess of 1,300 students will have been conferred. Also, we had fairly major news for ourselves in terms of the Minister for Further and Higher Education confirming yesterday that we would be becoming a TU together with our partners in Sligo and GMIT, and that we will be designated as a technological college from early next year. This is the result of almost 10 years' hard work from all 3 colleges, but it would not have been possible without the input from the student body and the performance and engagement of successive student cohorts coming through the LYIT. We are celebrating 50 years, our 50th anniversary, and we remember the 170 students who started here on the first day and indeed the staff who began their careers here in 1971. This was truly an educational experiment that has been replicated right across the country. 50 years later, we are embarking on a new experiment as we become a technological university. This TU designation is a fitting tribute to those people and everyone who followed them through the Donogh O'Malley Regional College, Letterkenny RTC, and ultimately LYIT. I would especially like to thank my colleagues on successive governing bodies and all LYIT staff who have worked tirelessly and constructively to ensure that the technological university will become a reality. This has been really significant as we are seeing the end of one institution and the creation of a very enlarged new one. It's an exciting time for all of us, but also a challenging time, and we need to work to ensure that the emerging TU continues to contribute positively to the Northwest region as the university develops. As chairman of the governing body, I am anxious to ensure that the student experience in the Donegal campuses of the new TU continue to be a positive one, and that we can create new opportunities in course development, research, and employer engagement that will enhance that experience. If COVID has taught us anything, it is that we all have the capacity to adapt to changing circumstances and conditions when the need arises, whether it be in the educational, hospitality, domestic, business, or any other sphere. The students attending this ceremony today is ample proof of this. I wish you continued success and happiness in your future endeavours. Gur míle maith.
Gur maith the Cairlach. Before we proceed, I forgot to tell you to move the tassel to the right-hand side of your mortarboard beforehand. Thank you. In this year, Paul O'Hannigan, Uachtar an Institute, grad the Mabronu the Follery at the Currawalahar Egan Institute. I call on Paul Hannigan, the President of the Institute, to confer awards on the learners presented by the Institute for that purpose.
On behalf of Letterkenny Institute of Technology, as a designated awarding body under the Qualifications and Quality Assurance Education and Training Act 2019, I hereby confer awards on the learners of this institution who have achieved the standard determined by the Institute for those awards, and I ask that those learners be presented to me so that I may formally present them with their parchment. Harcean Institute Technoliaachta Letterkenny, mar cólach dabhachtana aimnithe faoi dearbhú caliachta, agus Oidicus agus Uiliant lasú 2019. Branam leis dabhachtaní bhicléin na Institute, seo bhfuil an caighdean atá leagta síos ag an Institute na dabhachtaní sin bainte amach acu, agus iarm gur gurfar na micléin sin in aithne dom don a bar a bhrunú orthú go formalta.
A Uachtarán cuireadh thar chuait na hiarrthóirí seo leanas a bhfuil a dorthaí scrúdathe dleachta agus de bhachtaní ag le bhéal 6-7-8 agus a 9 den chreat náisiúnta caliachtaí a bheith ceadathe ag comhairle acadúil na Institute. President, I present to you the following candidates whose examination results have been adopted, and awards at levels 6, 7, 8 and 9 on the National Framework of Qualifications have been approved by the Institute's Academic Council.
Iarm Thomas Dowling, Ceann and na ring ríomhaireachta na hiarraí as an ring seo a Currawalahar. I ask Thomas Dowling, the Head of Department of Computing, to present the candidates.
Bachelor of Science Honours in Computing and Contemporary Software Development, Pedro Paulo Marcina Santos. Higher Diploma in Science in Computing, Mohammed Anwar ul Haq, Tadurul Cosman Ariton, Leonie Bonner, Ryan Borland, Turla Brennan, Rochelle Broderick, Connor Brosnan, Jana Breskin, in absentia. Anthony Byrne. Loris Ciardo, Paul Collins, Anna Kozik, Sinead Courtney, in absentia. Michael Cunningham. Frances Dennehy. Laura Devaney. Roseanne Dowling. David Eyre, Fiona Fenley, Olivia Fitzgerald, Johann Gamal Ansel Newman, in absentia. Aaron Gillespie. Dara Gordon, in absentia. Bruno Allen Gurgel Souza. Catherine Jackson. Audrey Healy, Owen Levy, Ivana Lusick, Marta Alexander, Caroline Lynch, in absentia. Christine McCabe. Bobby McEwen, Michael McGinley, Michael McNeely, David Medina Sanchez, in absentia. Ina Negru. Michael Newell, Katrina Nicali, Dominic O'Cally, Emer O'Grady, David O'Mara, Ethan O'Neill, in absentia. Barry O'Riordan. Kenneth O'Banner. Mark Pope. Kyle Potts and Lydia Shadwell, in absentia. Shannon Strain. Joanne Tracy, in absentia. Michael Shubangu, in absentia. Dino Zorik. Please give graduates a round of applause. Higher Diploma in Science and Computing for Educators. Kevin Boyle, Angus Burden, Ryan Davenport, in absentia. Kathy DeWard. Emma Doherty, Gemma Louise Duffy, Emma Flanagan, in absentia. Bernie Gallagher. Kerry Gallagher, Martin Gavney, Ciara Gleason, Frederick Goldeman, Michelle Grugan, Kevin Hines, and Mark Kelly, in absentia. Joe Maher. Robert Masterson, Orla McCartney Higgins, and Alison McGee, in absentia. Aisling McGeehan. Chloe McLaughlin, in absentia. Liz McLaughlin. Gwen McMullen, Matilda Manusi, in absentia. Sharon O'Shaughnessy. Carrie Ann Toohey and Ciara Weir in absentia. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Postgraduate Diploma in Computing in Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. Rajendra Mala and Arkuti Vishram Pati in absentia. Postgraduate Diploma in Big Data Analytics. Nikhil Ravendra Padu. Please give graduates a round of applause. Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Digital Healthcare. Federico Kai, Bakil Dungill in absentia. Anne-Marie Galligan. Joanne Hayes in absentia. Anish Kunai. Audrey Larkin. Sean McKernan, Aisling McPhillips, Siobhan Murphy, Charman O'Brien, Aisling O'Keefe, Dominic O'Shea, Nicola Porter, and Teresa Ryan in absentia. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Walid bin Harman, Silva Baraska, Frederico Chatti in absentia. Peter Hughes. Sorry, I've just realized I've forgotten to read out the name of that last course. My apologies. Postgraduate Diploma in Science and Private Cloud Technologies. Sorry. Ronan Keaveney, Carol Long, Conor McGoohan in absentia. Matma Mattel. Fergal Murphy, Manhim Ning, Alan O'Brien, Niall O'Malley, Manpreet Singh, Suma Anthan Sabaran, and Gunter Michael Taschel. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Computing in Cybersecurity. Joanne Byrne, Carl Bergen, Jill Blanchfield, Greg Cadogan, Leon Costello, Marlon Dahora, Sean Daniel, Elaine Doyle, Miguel Freire, Owen Findlay, Stephen Gannon, and Hugh Gill, Svetlana Gandinuk, Sean Gurr, and Garod Hanrahan in absentia. Sylvester Hanzeki, Bree Keane, Lalita Lane, Rue Lecca, Mark McDonough, Claire McKenna, Desmond Murphy, Lokesh Nut Al Patti, Conor O'Brien, Stephen O'Brien in absentia. Stephen O'Callaghan. James O'Connell, Marek Olenczak, Dean Pocano, Adrian Popa, Raymond Raganeski in absentia. Jonathan Robb, My apologies, we missed someone. Merrick Obenzuk is here. Sorry, Merrick. Jonathan Robb. Sean Rock. Joe Ryan, Patrick Ryan, Fitzgerald Santos in absentia. Matthew Scaria, Leonid Selov, Akila, yeah, which one? Akhilesh Kumar Singh, Kieran Spey in absentia, Anthony Stott, Stephen Stott, Cara Sweeney, Adrian Tigg, Kieran Toland, Brian Ward, Richie Ward in absentia, Kieran Whelan, Pooja Wilson, please give the graduates a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Cybersecurity, Dylan Corcoran, Malachy Daly, Paul Daly in absentia, Sheila Doherty, Shilpa Elsa Varungesh, Janish Goban, George in absentia, Joseph Joy, Olawin Kauko and Ronan Kilgannon in absentia, Eddie Lyons, Richard Madden in absentia, Praveen David Matthew, Owen McCormick, Connor McEnroy, Brendan McAvoy, Richard O'Halloran, Sri Sai Panit Arthi, Ratesh Dharmesh Shukula, Chris Staunton, and Aidan Whelan in absentia. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Big Data Analytics, Katrin Arsino. Siddharash Sadiv Bangara, Rajun Arunbai Baraya in absentia, Kala Brai Ma Ish, Tulsiram Chadarambam Thali Rapambura, Ian Corcoran, Curtis Cunningham, Praveen Gudakaran, Sabine Kal-E-Kai, Timothy Kelly in absentia, Stephen Son Khan IT Mark, Alan Mackey, Balon Maglagand, Andrew McDade, Jared MacDonald, Vinkata Sri Sai Garam Balangi, Thi Thai Nuran, Fahad Ben Nagzet, Anat Kumar Rabandrai Patel in absentia, Ranjit Pozharambal Ravendran, Shailesh Patel Rajendra Prasad, Balit Ali Syed, Rajender Singh, Amul Denish Chandra Obayaya, and Emily Ann Veloza in absentia, Dan Fing Wang, and Naira Williams in absentia. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, Pooja Prakash Anil Ungarkar. Anatman Baby Khan Agkail in absentia. Sabura Sunil Bakur. Sahil Suresh Chavan. Vinod Kurma Chantala. Mantesh Nat Chadarai in absentia. Nikhil Dharam Arvan. Gavin Elliott. Muhammad Ibrahim. Vishal Dharma Kadim. Santosh Kumar Konganda. Juan Miguel Lopez Alcerad. Balasubra Maniam Mutura Malingam in absentia. Nikad Ganesh Frika. Carol Pento. Joshua Peter Pularam. Kumar Sabra. Varun Saigal. Umram Shamali. Abhikash Ramchand Singh in absentia, Indumati Sundar, Raghav Tukar, Lavesh Thomas, Hardek Chakandrant Trivedi, Jisa Vagresh, Archana Ramdas Vekkar. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Cloud Technologies, Adarsh Balaji in absentia, Savarani Deshpande, Nikarthi Kirti in absentia, Varun Kumar, Vikram Kundu, Tomasa Lima in absentia, Krishna Tija Manyam in absentia, Mani Teja Reddy Palarala in absentia, Pruhati Anil Patel, Pagadi Hawaram Prem Kumar, Pallavi Ramanchandra, Vamsi Krishna Ramasetti in absentia, Confidence Rufu, Kalpit Sunel Sharma in absentia, Samir Shim Bavankar in absentia, Komal Santram Singh. Abhirami Vinkatan in absentia. Please give the graduates a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Cloud Technologies Research, Stefan Callery. Please give Stefan a round of applause. Master of Science in Computing in Computer Science Education Research, Evan Deveni. And Gary Gorman. Please give the graduates a round of applause.
I now call on the Head of Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Dr. Gertie Taggart, to present the college prizes.
The following postgraduate students have been successful prize winners within the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Prize for the best taught Master of Science dissertation in the Department of Computing, sponsored by Tata Consultancy Services, Curtis Cunningham in absentia. Curtis completed his MSc in Computing and Big Data Analytics. And the Kay McNulty Prize for the best student in the Department of Computing, Dara Gordon from the Higher Diploma in Computing. And again, Dara isn't with us today, so that's in absentia. So congratulations to our prize winners and all our graduates.
Now, graduates, could you just move the tassel to the left side? Thank you. Anish Iram Paula Hannigan and Uachtaran Crich a Coalition Agacha. I ask Paul Hannigan, our president, to give the closing address.
Bhíní úsle, tá fáilte mhór ormh an seániu ag lá speisialta an choláiste brana na céimena. Is é seo chean don na lá is tábhachtaí ag féidir an choláiste chun ar Maclean a Chiliura. Ladies and gentlemen, special guests, but most of all the graduates here in front of us and those joining us online this afternoon, just want to welcome you to this very special occasion in Letterkenny IT. And it really is a very special occasion. This is the last session of the graduation ceremonies over the last 2 days. But this is a quite unique one because what it shows to us, it identifies 3 main areas where the Institute has been making strides in over the last number of years. One is in the provision of postgraduate education through full-time programs and through Masters by Research as well. The second one is in terms of international education and bringing people in from outside of Ireland to participate in our programs here. And the third one is in, it's gone out of my head. Now, the third one is in online provision, which is what we are, so many people can't be with us today because they're working at the moment, but they have come to us and done online courses and been successful in completing those online programs. So those 3 areas are really well represented in terms of the cohort of graduates that are here this afternoon. And thank you very much for being with us. I know a lot of you have travelled distances to be here, and it's really great to see you all in the hall this afternoon, and I hope you have a really great evening. And what I want you to do is to celebrate your own success, because some of you have never set foot in the college before. Because of the way the circumstances have been over the last number of years in terms of COVID and the restrictions that were placed upon us, the majority of our programs, even if they weren't online, had to go online. And you had to find a way to deal with that. And you had to find a mechanism to deal with that. Some of you were far away from home when you were renting accommodation or whatever, and had to deal with those issues that were thrown up for you at that stage. And how you managed that, and how you adapted to it, and how you engaged with that is a real credit to you. And that's similarly for everybody in the hall. And to our staff, I'd just like to thank them for their engagement in the programs, because after March 2020, it really was all new for all of us. We took a lot of things for granted in terms of how we offered programs. We took a lot of things for granted in terms of our face-to-face engagement with students on an ongoing basis. And we had to adapt, and we had to change, and we had to modify our behaviours. And we had to do that to ensure that everybody was successful in terms of how they completed their programs. So we've done that now for an academic year and a half. Last year, as the chairman said at the beginning, we weren't in a position to have a face-to-face graduation ceremony at all. We had to go for an online graduation ceremony. Today, we're back, and yesterday, with face-to-face graduation ceremonies again. And that's really important for us, because it's really important for us to say, congratulations, well done. You have fantastic achievement, and even more so in the circumstances in which you've achieved it. Chairman also said at the beginning that we're celebrating 50 years. So if you can imagine Letterkenny back in 1971 and setting up a college here at the time, and the major step that was to do that in a small provincial town at the time. And 170 students signed up for the college at that time. There was about 30 staff. It clearly says on the day it opened, all of the staff were under 35 years of age. I know all our staff are still very young, but that was particularly young at that stage. So, you know, it was a new venture and a new way of bringing third level education into this region. You look what has happened now in terms of almost 5,000 students registered in the college, 400 staff working here, massive contribution made to the local economy and the local community, and creating opportunities for yourselves for job opportunities here or elsewhere because of the programs you've completed with us. And in celebrating those 50 years, we now look forward to the next stage of our development. And again, the chairman mentioned that we now will be designated as a technological university from spring of next year, which is a really great achievement for the college, but really strongly built on the foundations laid by the people who went before us. And the students and the graduates of the college they've built that foundation. They're the ambassadors of the college. They're the people we build upon. And you're going to be the next group going out. We're going to say that group, that class of 2021, fantastic group. They took on programs. They took on chances. They actually delivered in very difficult circumstances. You're quite a unique group this evening as well, because this will be the last LYIT graduation ceremony ever. So we've been saying that to the groups for the last 2 days, that they've been the last LYIT graduates, but this particular group are the last ever. So you're going to carry that with you for a long time. I was listening to our head of faculty over here and our chairman singing earlier on. If some of you were in earlier, you would have heard them singing My Way with the LYIT house band here on the left-hand side. And the first line in that song is, "Now the end is near." I'm not going to go any further than that because my singing voice isn't with me today. But now the end is near for the completion of our graduation ceremony for 2021, but also for the final graduation ceremony for LYIT in total. And just remember where you were when it happened. And all the people online joining us this evening, please join in that celebration as well. So in order to mark that, I just want to ask all the graduates in the room to please stand up. And we'll ask everybody else in the room just to give them a fantastic round of applause. You can sit down again for it. That was fantastic. Round of applause. That's the best we've had all week. Great stuff. So just before we finish, you'd be remiss of me not to thank a few people for all the work that's been done over the last weeks in preparation for this event, but also in staging the event as well. So Claire, who was doing the MC for us earlier on as examination officer, does a fantastic job for us in terms of dealing with students on an ongoing basis. And she does a particularly brilliant job at this occasion every year. So I just want to thank Claire particularly for her work over the last one. And there's people giving out your parchments here left and right, people looking after the doors. If you haven't got a ticket, you don't get in. We're ahead of the COVID regulations in Letterkenny IT. So those people have done a fantastic job over the last 6 sessions as well. Hordes of people have been involved in working on this and making it work. The canteen staff in the college, hopefully you'll be over to get a cup of tea and a bun in a few minutes. Again, worked tirelessly over the last 2 days, providing a service for everybody and creating a beautiful atmosphere in the institution. Staff members who've turned up in such numbers over the last 2 days and done a fantastic job over the 2 years as well in terms of provision of service during very difficult circumstances. And it's great credit to them that we're all here on the graduation ceremony. To my own colleagues here from Executive Board and the Chairman and the governing body members, tremendous support over the 12 months in terms of keeping the show on the road and making sure we were moving towards technological university status. And then my favourite part of the whole occasion is what we call the LYIT House Band. This band is made up of staff members within the college who do a fantastic job every session, playing great music. Everybody's singing and dancing away up behind you before it starts. You don't see this happening at all. But then the chairman and the head of faculty were really progressive this evening and actually sang for everybody that was in early enough to hear them. So I'm going to ask Pat if he maybe might play My Way as we leave. Would that work? Sorry, the consultation with the band is on. We can do that. And we'll all sing on the way out. Congratulations, everybody. Have a great evening.
Gur maigad a thugtran, a dhéanú garmlia, a gémia agus a déanú úslia, chur me seo crí le running the radam Falmery Institute. Respected guests, fellow academics, ladies and gentlemen, and most important of all, our graduates, this concludes the meeting of the purpose of the conferring of awards on the graduates of our institute. I ask our platform party to rise. All rise. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. And just to remind you of the